Hey, what's up guys? This is David from Automotive Custom Lighting, and today we're going to show you how to hook up the plug and play reverse light. So let's check it out. Some of the tools you may need for the job is a flashlight, a drill, Phillips attachment, 23/64 drill bit, 4 and 5 millimeter Allen keys, interior panel tool, plastic clip removal pliers. These things are awesome, a lifesaver. 10 millimeter deep socket and ratchet, 15 millimeter ratchet and open end. Now you may not need these if you don't plan on removing the bed, but if you do, that's the size you need. Pliers, some zip ties, and some self-tap screws. Now for installation purposes, you do not need to remove the bed, but in this case, to make things easier for you to see what we do underneath, we're going to go ahead and remove the bed. Now if you wanted to remove it yourself, there's two 15 millimeter nut and bolts that hold the hinge on, and then as you've seen, we just removed that shock. But other than that, that is everything that's on there once you disconnect the wiring harness. Let's go ahead and start by removing the relay cap cover. Using a couple self-tap screws and the drill, let's go ahead and mount it on the firewall. Now before you do any type of screwing into the firewall, you want to make sure that there's nothing on the other side that you may accidentally self-tap into. In this case, we've already verified there's nothing behind this wall, so just make sure in your machine there is no wiring, nothing behind that you can damage. Go ahead and get your relay harness and go ahead and reinstall it back onto the relay cap cover that you have already mounted. Now you want to go ahead and find your ground wire, which is the one with the eye loop. You want to run it behind all the factory wiring and along the frame rail. That wiring is going to get grounded out right there on the gold bracket to that 10 millimeter nut. You could route the other two cables alongside the factory breather duct. There is a couple of factory cable holders that you could push them down into and lock the wiring down. The longer cable with the blue connector gets plugged into the factory reverse trigger wires. Go ahead and remove the cap and plug in the reverse trigger wires. The last cable you see here has a Deutsch connector plug on it. It's designed to plug right into the diode dynamics light. Now depending if you have the center exhaust or side exhaust, you may have our black brackets or the chrome ones. The black ones go with the center exhaust, the chrome ones go with the side exhaust. We went ahead and mounted the brackets to the light. If you need to, go ahead and pause this video to do so. Typically you want to make the black brackets flush with the top of the frame rail. In this case we didn't. We went ahead and marked it just under the dimples. But later in the video, you'll see us move the brackets up flush, so just make sure it's flush, mark it, then drill it. Now the basic nut and bolt mounting hardware does come with the kit, but for the sake of our installs, we love using riv nuts. We do not provide this with this kit. You can request it, but it does not come provided. This part of the installation would be slightly different than the hardware that you received. You'll have a nut and bolt method that you use a open-end ratchet and socket to install. In this case, we used riv nuts because we love using these things. So we're going to use a 4mm bolt to thread right into the riv nuts. As I mentioned earlier in the video, you want to slide the brackets flush with the top of the frame rail. Just make sure when you mark your holes that you allowed enough movement in the brackets to slide it flush with the frame rail. Using a 5mm Allen key to hold the bolt on the bottom while you spin the 10mm nut up top. Go ahead and remove the nut. This is where the relay gets grounded. Go ahead and connect the wire and reinstall the 10mm nut. After you have everything installed, the last thing you want to do is go ahead and check to make sure everything works. Go ahead and shift it in reverse. It should automatically come on when you shift in reverse. And once you shift it out, it should automatically turn off. After you've done that, go ahead and secure all your wiring and you should be done. The next portion of the video is going to go over how to install the Auto Plus switch and Hunter's Edition wiring harness. Feed the cable behind the relay, just right above the gas tank. Once inside, go ahead and lift up the seats and remove the plastic trays. To remove the floor panel, you have one hidden pop fastener underneath the seat. Go ahead and remove this fastener. Unplug the power outlet. Make sure to take note of which wire you remove so you can put it back in the proper spot. Go ahead and lift up the panel and remove it out of the way. Continue to route the wiring through the center tunnel all the way to the front of the machine. Lift up the front seats and remove the plastic trays. Repeat the same process to remove the front panel as what you did with the rear panel. Remove the front floor panel. You may have to remove a couple AC vents if you have the North Star Edition.